Minneapolis Miracle!
Yeah, suddenly that's not so special anymore, huh? Hey guys, what's up? Game review. The Vikings got destroyed. See you guys next time. You guys really want to hear some more? Well, let's get to it.
The Vikings start off
Really strong. We go to Philly, going out, fire. We get the ball. I never like when we start with the ball first. The way Zimmer works, we always like to score at the end of the first half, and we get the ball and maybe score again in the second half. And when we get the ball first, it never really looks good, and we're on the road. So
excuses.
we get the ball first, we score. The best highlight of the game. This ended up being a lot like the 2012 wild card game. Adrian Peterson was the offense. These are the differences between that. Despite the score being very similar, the teams were way different. 2012 offense was just Adrian Peterson, and it was a solid defense. This year, best offense in the NFL, and a top 10 offense. So then, the Vikings actually get a 3-and-out. The Eagles looked like an Eagles Nick Foles-led offense in the first drive. Yay. And then, next drive, the Vikings get pushed back. Rashad Hill straight into the arms of Case Keenum. Keenum gets hit, ball's out. Interception, pick six, play of the game, game over. I don't think I need to talk about anything else what happened. You guys know the results of the game. The Vikings got absolutely destroyed, and we got embarrassed on the road. How did this happen? I think offensively, let's take this one place at a time. Offensively, Pat Shurmur, I think he was making more plays for Odell Beckham Jr. than he was for Stephon Diggs. But secondarily, if that wasn't even a thing, let's say Pat Shurmur actually gave us his full effort, even though he was already trying to be set to be the head coach of the New York Giants, because you'd rather think about an awful team and then instead of a team that's getting away from the Super Bowl. Let's say that he actually did do his very best for this game, and maybe he got out game planned. Oh, right, that's fine. He's human. Offensive weapons in this game were all banged up. You know, Kyle Rudolph was hurt in this game. Kyle Rudolph hurt his back last game, and it was barely practice. And you could tell when he was running, he wasn't near 100%. Stephon Diggs was our only shining moment, but then he gets hurt too, so we lost all three of our biggest weapons, and our only weapon at that point was Jerick McKinnon. We couldn't step up. I don't know why in halftime we couldn't make the adjustment, make some plays designed for Laquan Treadwell, Michael Floyd, because those are our best playmakers at this point. Yes, Jarius Wright's good for those underneath stuff, and he's a good replacement for Stephon Diggs, but we need a guy that can be big and out-muscle some of these smaller corners and defensive backs on Philly. And we didn't attack the middle of the field. That's where Jarius Wright should have thrived, on those little quick slants. He's strong enough to fight through the contact, make those plays, and we're just doing the exact same play. That's why I really don't think Pat was in his head this game, because it was a lot like old school Vikings offense, which is really boring to watch, especially when we're down by so many. How many underneath drag routes, checkdowns are we going to throw to Jerick McKinnon? I know he's probably the most explosive player on the field, and when we lost all of our other playmakers, do like a wheel route or something. Do something else with him. Not just a shame.
2 yards.
What are they doing? And the almost annoying play offensively for the whole game against me. We're in the red zone, and we're expected for David Morgan line up on the right side of the ball to block the defensive end on the left side of the ball. Who is planning this? Is this something that worked out in the regular season that's just now getting exposed? I love David Morgan. I think he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the game, but a guy that's lined up outside of our tackle, supposed to go 4 linemen down, 5, all the way down the line, all 5 linemen down, and then block the guy on the edge, outside shoulder of the left tackle Riley Reef. How is he supposed to do that? And then, oh no, it's a strip sack. Oh no, what a god-awful plan. Who decided that was a good strategy against the best defensive line in the league? That is just ridiculous. Who is thinking of this play? All right, David Morgan, block the guy that's 4 yards away from you on a straight pass rush situation. It's not like a screen where they can go up and the linebackers won't be ready for him. They're already blitzing. He's gonna have a couple yards of depth, and lo and behold, he's already around David Morgan. He tries to cut him. He does the best that he can, but he gets around him and he gets strip sacked. Good job. Who is in charge of that play? I know I don't want to blame Case Keenum, but my God, he was pretty awful in this game too. When he had a chance to step up and prove that, hey, in an offense that's all of a sudden mediocre as far as talent because of injuries, he can still thrive. He did not thrive at all. Yeah, it's Philly, one of the best defenses, but their pass defense is average to below average. I believe it's 14th ranked. It's something like that. It's close to, it's right around the average mark, right? And they only really look that good because their pass rush really helps out their defensive backs. You saw on the tape, you get a lot of wide open receivers. Case Keenum missed a lot of guys this game. His decision-making skills is extremely slow. I don't know why Zimmer didn't have the balls to pull the plug on him and throw Sam Bradford in at halftime. What do you got to lose? Bradford's your best pure passer. We don't have time for these 2-yard passes that Keenum was doing. He clearly didn't have it. If you're a Minnesota sports fan and watched the Twins playoff game, reminded me a lot of when we played the Yankees for the playoff. Urban Santana was god-awful. Paul Mulder didn't pull him out till it was way too late, and we get destroyed in that one. Very similar, and I just don't know why. I know Case Keenum wasn't the reason he lost his game, but he could have at least tried something different. I know Zimmer's all about fight to the final whistle. That was the whole thing last week, and here it wasn't even here. He didn't try anything different. That's Zimmer's approach that he tries to say that he's the guy that's always going to play to win, and he doesn't care who it takes. He will put the right people in. He didn't do it. All I have to go on Coach Zimmer, and if you want more of that, I know Adam Carlson on Purple for the Win had a couple good videos already on it, but I don't know what Mike Zimmer is at. I don't know where our offensive corner, what he's thinking. On the other side of the ball, the heart just got deflated. After that interception, they were still in that god-awful defensive scheme we were in last week, very soft. No press coverage, a lot of that because of Noah Sendejo. Even though we played fine without him in the regular season, you're going to tell me that I might be able to put this up on the screen where when we played the few games when Sendejo was hurt, when Anthony Harris filled in, our defense was still fine, and at the very least wasn't as god-awful as this. So you know we can run our same base defense with Anthony Harris, and he probably fits better because he's a lot speedier, he's a lot quicker than Andrew Sendejo, so he's a better guy to play in the center field. If you don't know what that means, when we can have Harrison Smith play wherever he wants, and we can just have a single high safety, aka center field, and he can take away the deep routes in the middle of the field. That's what he's there for, and he can just read and react. But Sendejo isn't the fastest safety, so it's kind of playing out of his game, but he's still pretty good at it. Anthony Harris has all the skill set to do it, and if he isn't getting it done, we have Jaron Curse that's backed up and played a few snaps against first-string offenses before. And if it's not working, try something different. Our defensive line, I don't believe he gave up too many yards on the ground, but it was a lot. I don't think they had to run the ball a lot because Nick Foles had no problems throwing it in the air. Xavier Rhodes gets hurt and Nair Newman gets burned because we put him on their best wide receiver and he gets burned on a double move that he's seen probably 50 times in his career. I know you're looking at for the slant because that's all they do. They did so many double moves and trick plays. We looked absolutely silly. The biggest disappointment on the defensive side of the ball is that we couldn't get off the field on third down. We're historically one of the best ever third down defenses. Couldn't get it done. What's going on? I feel really bad for the long-tenured Vikings and the retired ones like Chris Carter that felt so good last week, and now it doesn't even matter. Playoff wins don't matter if you don't win the whole thing. I know the people love to say, maybe next year.
No!
We've said that for the last 50 years. Let's get it done. We had the pieces. I strongly believe we're the best team in the NFC, and I think at home we can beat any team, which really goes to show how devastating that Panthers game was. Because, yeah, I still think odds are we could beat the Eagles. But when we play that sloppy, when our coaches don't design a scheme that can work, that's worked all year, so let's change it up now. When they do that, we get banged up on offense. I think with our offensive injuries, I'm fine if we lose this game 13-10. That's not the point. We got blown out and disgraced, and we are not that bad. We are not the 2012 Vikings that get blown out against the Packers. We are a lot better than that. We're not the Josh Freeman-led Vikings that get blown out on Monday Night Football. We are so much better than those teams, and we lay an egg. We just put a god-awful performance out there in front of everybody. And the memes are awful, by the way. Stay away from the internet. You get all kinds of harassing Vikings memes. So if you want to feel even worse about yourself, check that out. But there it is. Next season, I have all kinds of postseason. I really don't want to do this. I'll do a Super Bowl game preview eventually. I'll do a simulation probably. I don't know if I want to do the Super Bowl one Tuesday. I might just get it out of the way. Or I might do something else. We'll see. Maybe one Thursday. We'll see how we're doing. Probably take a step back from football a little bit on my live streams. Maybe play some Dragon Ball Z games, something like that. But what a way to end the season. The defense falls apart the last 6 quarters. How does it get that bad that fast? I know we had the excuse last week, Anderson Dale gets hurt. We're playing against Drew Brees, probably the best offense in the playoffs. And we get torched there. The worst part, one of the biggest reason, one of the things I dislike the most, was that we literally gave them the groundwork of, hey, don't be the Vikings last week. You can blow a 17-point lead. So they put their foot on the pedal the whole game, something that we didn't do last week. And we stuck with the soft off the pedal defense. And the offense led us to the Saints game upset. The Minneapolis Miracle ended up being kind of a bad thing for us. Well, not the game-winning itself, but the third quarter was a disaster for us, and we couldn't ever get out of that mindset and got lucky on the Stephon Diggs play. I loved it. I thought, almost every playoff run, every team that wins the Super Bowl has some miraculous play, and that was ours. Then we blew it Sunday night to go to the Super Bowl at home. I thought the Eagles were holding. I thought there was some blocking the backs too. But when we lose by that much, there's no excuse. You can't blame the refs at that point. If it's 3 points, sure. But if it's any more than 10, leave the refs alone. If they were holding, we could have held 2 maybe. Because if it's fair on each side, it's fair on each side. So might as well do it. If you're Rashad Hill getting pushed back 4 yards every time, every offensive snap, maybe hold a little bit. I'd rather you get a 10-yard penalty instead of banging into Case Keenum for a pick 6, which wins them the game right there. If that doesn't happen, I think we have a really good chance to win the game. They had all the momentum in the world, and we couldn't do anything to stop it. I have a live reaction video coming up soon, too. Otherwise, we'll see you then. Skull Twins?